This is WCRN Weekend with your host, Pat Rice.
Welcome to another fabulous episode of WCRN Weekends with Pat Rice on AM 830. And if you missed out last weekend, we've been talking with Christina Andrianopoulas, who is part of the Grecian Festival Committee Board, about the upcoming Worcester Grecian Festival, which is happening Friday, June 1st, Saturday, June 2nd, and Sunday, June 3rd. In the last episode, we got in depth about the delicious and mouth-watering Greek dishes that will be available for your tastings at this festival, along with the drinks and some of the art that will be present. In this episode, we talk about more of the unique Greek culture, such as the music that will be performed at the event, along with DJs, dancing, and so much more. You guys even have a living museum.
Yes, so every year we generally have a living museum or some type of art and cultural display. This year, we're not going to do the living museum. This year we do the Art and Cultural Center. So basically what that is, we've invited artists from all over New England to communicate with us and present their original artwork that they can display in the Tona Room, which is about 1,000 square foot space that we create as if it looks like an art gallery. And we open up our doors to all the artists all over New England, and we have a lot who want to be there. And we've also invited community members who do some artwork in their basement or in a craft room, and they never get to display it, and they're bringing it in, and children too, because we're all about art and culture. One spotlight of the art and culture is that the Worcester Historical Museum, right in Worcester, actually right off of Elm Street, will do a whole Worcester historical display, which will include the Elm Street neighborhood as well. So people who can come in can actually watch how the neighborhood evolved and how our church was built 50 years ago in that area, and how the entire neighborhood evolved to become like a Greek center.
That's great. That's very well thought out and very nice. You get the community involved. Everyone feels like they're a part of it. It seems very family-oriented, from the recipes being passed down from family to family. And there's so much going on at this festival. You mentioned that there will be dance performances. How are these dances performed? I saw online they wear certain outfits. What's the whole gig with that?
Well, dancing is a big part. Food and dancing is a big part of our Greek culture. And the different regions of Greece are similar to, let's take the United States. There's the Northwest, there's the Southwest, the Northeast, the Midwest, Texas. Yeah. On its own. But in Greece, we have our regions, and each region has its own personality and its own traditions as well. And each one has different costumes. And so it's really interesting to now see all the different regions of Greece presented in dance with their costumes. So the dancers, they come from the littlest ones, because we like to pass down the tradition of dancing to the youngest ones. And they're from 4 years old all the way up to older teens or young adults. And they wear these costumes and they perform different dances from different regions of Greece. So it might be, for example, it might be like in Latin America, you have the salsa, but salsa done in Spain could be different than the way salsa is done in Mexico or Guatemala or whatever. Yeah. So the Greek dances are the Greek dances with similar music, but they're performed differently. So we have a St. Spiridon Greek dance troupe, and we have an affiliate group, which is called the Alexander the Great Dance Group 2, and we have a schedule, and they all perform. And they all perform different versions of Greek dancing with different costumes. And I have to tell you, I am Greek, but when I watch them dancing, it's better than Dancing with the Stars, because it's so professional. And the little kids who are just learning the steps, and one little young guy, he might be 4, he might just decide he's not interested in holding on to the little girl's hand and start walking away and doing his own thing. And it's just so adorable to watch that. And then it evolves up to the older group who are very professional at doing it.
That must be wonderful to watch, and probably make someone like myself feel like, wow, I should probably learn a couple of dance moves, you know?
That's a good point, because being a Greek for a day or a weekend, you have an opportunity to learn, because when the Greek music starts, other than the scheduled performances, then everybody can just get up and hold somebody's hand and dance. In fact, if we see you sitting there with your group or even by yourself, somebody might just grab your hand and say, come on up, do not be shy.
Really?
There's no such thing as being shy at the Grecian Festival. Grab somebody's hand. Who cares if you know how to move? Just hold it. Go into one of the two hands, hold on, and just follow along, and they'll pull you, and you will have so much fun.
So it looks like I'm forced to bring my dancing shoes if I stop by the Grecian Festival.
You better, because it's going to be hard to dance barefoot.
I can imagine that. And you mentioned that there'll be live music, and I read that it consists of some DJs to live Greek music. Now, with the DJs, are they playing music that's Greek cultured? Or are they just playing music that just obtains to a festival vibe? And who are some of the Greek musicians that will be performing?
Well, that's a great question, because what we do is every day we have a Greek orchestra. And for example, Friday night, the great band, it's a New England band called Orpheus, and the lead singer, when she performs, is a wonderful singer. So she's our spotlight, a singer with the orchestra on Friday night. They start at 5 o'clock and they go until we close. But prior to the musicians coming on, we have our DJs. So our DJs are young. Well, they actually happen to be two male DJs, Christos and Nico, and they know the top 40 music that's happening in Greece. So the orchestra usually does the more traditional dance music, and dance the kind that they did during the war that helps you tell a story.
Yeah.
And the DJs put on the hottest music, and some of it could be Greek rap. It could be, the Justin Timberlakes of the Greek world. And it's so great to be able to hear what's happening in Greece.
I love that. Because as a big music buff myself, I would listen to all different kind of music all around the world, whether it was in English, Spanish, to French, and I know, especially hip-hop, pop, and R&B music, everyone does it all around the world, and it's actually crazy to hear some guy who might be in Japan or Greece that's doing, this funk hip-hop music that you would hear in the U.S., and to be honest, I think some of the other countries do it better in the U.S., because I hear some really funky tunes out there. I'm like, wow, this is coming over in Europe.
I know, isn't it amazing? It flips me when I start hearing a Greek rap song, and it's in Greek, and I understand it. I understand Greek, and I'm like, wow, this is the coolest rap song ever. Kanye West, forget about it.
Yeah, definitely forget about Kanye West.
It would be Kanye Westernopoulos.
It blows my mind. It's wonderful, though. Music, food, and festivals bring everyone together around the world. We are going to take a quick intermission and maybe check out some of that Greek hip-hop music on Google. But in our next segment, we get into the Grecian Festival's jackpot prize-winning raffle. You've been listening to WCRN Weekends with Pat Rice on AM 830.
You're listening to WCRN Weekend. Once again, here's your host, Pat Rice.
And we return. We are only 12 days away from the worldwide famous Grecian Festival, which takes place in Worcester at the St. Spiridon Greek Orthodox Cathedral, June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. That's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Full of food, art, and culture, music. Actually, so much food you won't be able to stand afterwards, and so much art and culture, you might as well be Greek for the day. If you missed our past episode in the last segment, we've been speaking with Christina, who's part of the Grecian Festival Committee Board, about the upcoming festival and what it has to offer. In our last segment, we talked about some of the music, DJs, and dancing. In this segment, we're going to talk about the big prize-winning raffle that the festival has to offer and that you can enter into right now, along with the future of the Grecian Festival, what WCRN hosts you might see there in Greek culture in Worcester. I also saw that the Worcester Grecian Festival offers a $10,000 cash prize raffle. What's that all about? How could you tell us a little bit about that? How is the money raised for $10,000, and that is a decent prize?
It is. What we do is every year we have a raffle, and everybody loves to buy raffle tickets. Look at the
Definitely.
lottery. So we offer that, and we decided that cash is king. People love winning cash. And so you have to buy a lottery, not a lottery ticket, a raffle ticket that we have available at different of our business establishments. If not, you can call our church and say, hey, I'm interested in getting a book. We'll mail you the book. And then you just fill out the part that you do, and you send in the money, and that's how we raise the money for it. And people, as I said, love to get a chance to win $10,000 as the grand prize. There are 3 runner-up prizes for $1,000 each. So why not win? It's a $5 a ticket, and then if you buy it in volume, it's less expensive. So you can buy a book of 5 for $20, and a book of 10 for $40, and a book of 100 for $60. So you can call up the church and say, hey, can you just mail me some raffle tickets? I'm not going to be in the area. And we'll send them to you, and you just send them back so you can get a chance, the little stubs with your name and address on it with the money. And we have this huge bin that spins, and it's starting to pile up right now because we start selling it ahead of time.
I can imagine.
Right at about 9:30 on Sunday night, right at closing, you don't have to be there to win. We pull the numbers, and we announce them, and then we publicize them in the newspaper. And we have had winners. Every festival, we have winners.
Every year, someone wins $10,000?
10,000 for the last 3 festivals. We've had cash and people loving it, so we kept that one up.
That is
But talking
incredible.
about raising money, I want to say that this is the fun and the glendy and the food. It's all the biggest fundraiser that we are doing there. And not only does it fund our ministries, our youth and senior and teen programs, our Greek cultural programs, but it also funds our Worcester Food Bank, Orthodox Kitchen. We feed 200 families all over Worcester, working with the Worcester Food Bank. And we also fund our board-certified preschool that is open to the public, and a lot of missions that we do to go work with the poor. And this is what this fundraiser does. And so you're not only giving to our community, but you're giving to our philanthropic, what we give away as well.
That's a great cause.
Yes.
That's really giving back to the community. That's doing a lot. What is the future for the Grecian Festival in Worcester?
Well, every year being in marketing, I'm like, okay, what's the hook? What's the hook? What's the hook?
Yeah.
And we always look for the hook. This year, we invited again the artist in order to contribute their artwork to be selected to do the theme. And the little postcard you're looking at, and is also on our website, and you'll see all around, is original artwork from an artist in New England who came up. Where is it going to go? We don't know. Every 2 years, we just come up with what's happening with the climate of the globe and of our United States, and we try to leverage what's happening, what's important. But what doesn't change is when you walk through that door at admissions and you walk into our campus of where the festival is, either inside or under the tent, it doesn't change from what the essence and the core of what we represent. It's our Greek heritage. It's what our forefathers hundreds of years came over to do a better life, and contributed so much to the Worcester County and New England world. Everything, from artists to business people to restaurateurs, we all contributed in order for us to have a better life for our children and to become part of the fabric of the United States as immigrants.
And so it seems like Greek pride keeps growing within the community.
Yes, because as it was passed down to, I'm first generation. My parents migrated here right after World War II. I passed it down to my children who are much more Americanized. I was Americanized, but they're more Americanized than I was, still feel they're Greek inside their core. And that we pass down the heritage, and they volunteer for the festival. They've gone to the Greek camps in Greece, and they did Greek school, and they learned Greek dancing. So we try to pass it down, and then we are hoping our children pass it down, because it's the way of the world. If you don't pass down your heritage, then what happens? You become a big mixing bowl of just a homogenized existence.
And the mixing pot and your culture gets forgotten, and that's what you don't want to happen. So this is wonderful. This is great for the Greek community and for anyone that's also interested in it. Now, Christina, could you remind us the dates and times when this festival is happening and how people can get in contact with you for when they want to be involved with whether it's this festival or festivals in the future, and the website as well?
Sure. Okay, the easiest way is to go onto our website, which is so easy to remember, is grecianfestival.org. The other easy way to do it is go onto our Facebook page. If you put in your search Grecian Festival Worcester, you'll come right to our page, even though it's St. Spiridon Grecian Festival. But if you put Grecian Festival Worcester, it'll pop to our Facebook page. You'll see everything you need to know. You'll keep up with the event, with happenings that are happening. You can also call our office during business hours. It's 508-791-7326, 508-791-7326. Or email grecianfestival2018@gmail.com. You'll get through to us. Obviously, I'm in communication because there's so many ways to do it. We welcome everybody to our festival. It doesn't matter what race, creed, belief, gender, what your preferences are. We're all the same under the tent. And please get in touch with us. You don't have to be Greek to volunteer, because a lot of the money that we do, we give back to the community, and you can help us with that. And you can be a real Greek for a day by, volunteering and helping.
And the festival's happening
June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and that's the first weekend of June 1st, right after Memorial Day weekend. Start looking about what you're going to do that following weekend. And before you go to the beach, stop on down and visit us June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Be Greek for a day or a weekend, and your opportunity to get your Greek on.
I love that. The pre-beach party.
Yeah. And maybe if you plan to go to the beach that weekend, come on down Friday night or early Saturday and pack up your lunch and then go visit. Come on back on Sunday and finish your weekend off and get food for your week.
That's a terrific idea. And it's the perfect time, too, because the times for the festival are usually in the evening, late afternoon.
Yep. On Friday, our opening hours are 5 o'clock in the evening and open till midnight. So Friday, we open at 5. And if you line up beforehand, you might be let in about 4:30, but don't line up at lunch because we're not open. But Friday, June 1st, it's 5 o'clock till midnight. Saturday, we open our doors at 11, so you can come in and have your brunch or lunch and stay till midnight or leave and come back for your evening dinner and entertainment. And then Sunday, it's 12 p.m. till 10 p.m. We start winding down about 8 or 9 o'clock, but there's something to do the entire weekend.
Hey, Christina, sounds like a wonderful time. Sounds like a huge party for everyone. I would like to thank you for coming on to the show today to discuss about the Grecian Festival here in Worcester, and we may see you there.
Well, thanks, Pat, and thanks to WCRN. You've been a media supporter for us for the longest time, and I really appreciate Chris and you and everything that everybody does. And Peter Blood is going to broadcast live on Sunday.
Oh, wow.
We're going to feed him so much food that day.
Just no eating on the air.
No talking with your mouth full. Period. You can eat on the air, but not when somebody else is talking.
Yes. Hey, once again, thank you, Christina.
You're welcome. Thank you, Pat.
If you missed our episode last weekend with Christina, you can always hear our WCRN Weekends with Pat Rice episodes on YouTube.com. We'll catch you next weekend, and we'll see you at the Grecian Festival in June. This has been WCRN Weekends with Pat Rice on AM 830.
This has been WCRN Weekend and your host, Pat Rice.